Alright, so you just picked up that shiny Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6. Now you need a case. Check out my top 5 favorite case picks for the Fold 6. Let's get into it. We're taking a look at the Subcase UB Pro case for the Samsung Z Fold 6. I haven't really worked with the folding phones very much, so before this, it was kind of an interesting prospect. Thanks to Subcase for sending this over for the review. The Subcase UB Pro case for the Z Fold 6 is very similar in many respects to the typical Subcase UB Pro cases. We have a strong left side panel here. This is basically the front side or the front frame of the case with a tempered glass panel. Subcase is rating this panel at about 9H in terms of scratch resistance, so it should hold up well against all the normal stuff that will come into contact with the front of your phone. Subcase says that while the fingerprint reader should work, it's worth increasing the sensitivity for maximum unlock accuracy. There's not too much flex in the front panel, which is good. Front panel snugly snaps onto the front side of the phone, so I like to see that. It seems like the front panel should be able to hug right onto the phone body and snugly fit there, so when you drop your phone, it shouldn't pop off. Front panel does have raised bezels, which is nice. I like that because it helps with glass protection. Because the front panel bezels raise the phone a couple of millimeters off of a flat surface, for example, when you drop the phone screen will not actually come into contact with the floor. This is super handy if you drop your phone on, say, a basement concrete floor or just a tile floor in general. As for the backside of this case, we have a very strong rear case panel. There was actually very little flex. There's tons of TPU material, and the construction overall is quite good in my opinion. We've got TPU material on the sides and the top and the bottom here. It looks like the corners are pretty reinforced. There's a good amount of extra material here, so I think you're going to be okay when it comes to corner drop scenarios. Another nice feature that I see is that on the sides, the TPU material is reduced slightly. You have these indents on the sides. This should help with overall grip since the width of the phone is slimmed down a little bit in that area. The wider the phone and the phone case is, the harder it becomes to hold on to it. This case does have support for storing the S Pen externally to the phone body, which is very nice. You can leave it in the middle section and then essentially just grab it quickly when you need it. The S Pen protection area or hinge also acts as a very strong barrier to protect the Z Fold 6's hinge. So kind of a nice double feature there. As always, the UB Pro cases have built-in kickstands, which are super good for watching videos, or if you need to do something like a video conference from your phone on a desk or maybe the counter in your kitchen. Subcase says that the UB Pro should allow for wireless Qi charging on most wireless chargers, so that's good to see. The case also provides a decent amount of protection for the cameras. They're actually quite recessed in the back here, and I like that the camera cutout region is already much smaller on the Z Fold 6 than it is for the S24 Ultra, for example. While in my opinion, the Rudy Red is the best color for this case, it does come in black, a color called Goldan, which is like green, a TI gray, and Tilt, which is basically a metallic blue kind of color. From handling this case for a little bit, it really seems like it's going to provide some pretty solid protection for your Z Fold 6 case. It will increase the bulk and the overall weight just a little bit, but if you're after protection, I think this is probably the case for you. So yeah, if the protection factor is what you're after, this is probably a solid choice. If you thought this video review was helpful, definitely drop a like on it. That'll let YouTube know to share this with other people who are researching Z Fold 6 cases. If you're into smartphones and mobile tech, definitely get subscribed to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. Until next time, stay charged up. Taking a look at the Subcase UB Pro Mag case for the Samsung Z Fold 6. Thanks to Subcase for sending this one over for review. The Subcase UB Pro Mag case for the Z Fold 6 is very similar in many respects to the typical UB Pro cases, but on this one, we do have MagSafe accessory support, and I noticed that the back side of the case is textured a little bit differently. In terms of protection for this case, we still have a very strong left side panel here. This is the front side frame with a tempered glass screen that Subcase is saying is 9H rated, which should hold up pretty well against all the normal stuff that will come into contact with your phone. Subcase says that the fingerprint reader should work pretty well on this one, but they do advise that you increase the sensitivity to the maximum setting for best unlock accuracy. There's not too much flex in this front panel, so that's good. The panel actually snaps onto the front side of the phone, and it's relatively snug, so that's good. It doesn't seem like this panel is going to go flying off the phone if you drop it. In terms of screen protection, the raised bezels on the front side of the phone are pretty nice. They actually raise the phone up off of a flat surface by, I would say, about 2 millimeters. So if your phone were to fall on a flat surface, for example, the screen will never actually touch that surface. The bezels on the case will actually take the brunt of that force. I definitely think this is super handy because I've definitely dropped my phone on kitchen floors and unfortunately on the concrete in my basement. Those are pretty hard hitting surfaces, so these bezels should work out pretty well then. As for the back side of this case, we have a very strong rear case panel on the right side of the phone. There's actually very little flex and tons of TPU material on the sides, the top, and the bottom with reinforced corners. I also like that the interior of the back side of the case has this felt material. I know a lot of people don't like that hard plastic on the inside of the case, so it's nice to see that Subcase added that here. I also like that the TPU sides have these slight indents. Basically, that's going to help with overall grip since the width of the phone is slimmed down a little bit in that area. As I mentioned earlier, the back side of this case is textured quite a bit. I actually like it. I think this is definitely going to help increase single hand grip, especially if it's damp or you have some moisture on your fingers. It's a nice design. In terms of external S Pen support, this case does support that. All along the phone body, we have this nice S Pen enclosure. Basically, you leave the S Pen in there, and you can grab it quickly when you need it. This mechanism is also interesting because it acts as a pretty strong barrier for protecting the Z Fold 6's hinge, which is kind of nice. The magnetic version of this case has a circular magnetic ring on the back, which doubles as a kickstand. That's a neat feature, and definitely a cool way to add value to the case in my opinion. The magnet was decently strong. It didn't seem over the top, but accessories definitely aren't going to easily fall off of it. In terms of charging the phone wirelessly on Qi chargers, Subcase says that the UB Pro Mag case should be compatible with most of them, so that's good to see. The case is also providing a very good amount of protection for the cameras. They're recessed quite a bit on this case, I think at least a couple of millimeters here, and the camera cutout region is much smaller on the Z Fold 6, for example, than it is on the S24 Ultra. Just from handling this case for a bit, it really seems like it's going to provide some solid protection for your Z Fold 6. I would definitely recommend this case if protection is the main factor that you're interested in for your Z Fold 6, and of course if you're looking for that MagSafe compatibility. If you got any value out of this video, definitely drop a like on it. That'll let YouTube know to share this video with other people who are researching Z Fold 6 cases. If you're into smartphones and mobile tech, I would definitely say get subscribed to the channel and ring that bell for video notifications. Until next time, stay charged up. Taking a look at the Tongate Mech case for the Samsung Z Fold 6. Thanks to Tongate for sending this case over and for sponsoring the video. The Mech case for the Fold 6 is a two-piece design engineered to provide some solid protection for your Fold 6. The front frame element of the Mech case features a tempered glass screen protector which has a decent thickness, and it seems like it's going to hold up pretty well over time. Tongate indicated that there shouldn't be any touch sensitivity issues as well, so that's nice to see. Tongate's also including cleaning materials. We have a wet wipe and a dry wipe and some dust stickers to make sure that we get a good application for the screen protector. Definitely remember to use those. The frame itself feels relatively rigid and it creates a nice bezel around the perimeter of the screen. This is an important protection feature for the outer screen. You definitely want to protect that screen, and these bezels will do that. When you drop the phone on a flat surface and it lands front side down, the bezels on the case will actually make that initial impact, and they'll absorb and redistribute a lot of those impact forces, which should help save the glass on the outside. The bezels essentially act as a shield here, which is what you want. You just have to make sure when you do install the front frame that you do remove those adhesive strips. Same goes for the backing piece. As for the backside of the phone and protection, that piece of the case or main case body is very beefy. There's a little flex in it, but the phone feels well protected, nestled in this section of the case, and the fitment is relatively good. As for the hinge protection mechanism, it feels pretty beefy as well. I like that it's slightly spring-loaded, so it's going to snap back into the closed position. As you can see, inside of the hinge, we do have space for storing the non-pro version of the S Pen. We have easy access from the outside of the case as well, which is a nice feature of the Tongate Mech case. I also like the carbon fiber look on the outside of the hinge piece. That's a nice touch. As for the sides, the top, and the bottom of the case, there's a little bit of flex when I try to compress it, but the TPU and TPE material that they used here has a fair amount of structure to it, so that's definitely going to help protect the phone. The corners seem very solid as well. They did not compress much at all when I tried to push on them, which is a good sign. The backside of the case body here does have some good texture on it. I really like that because I think it helps add quite a bit in terms of grip when you're holding onto the phone. I also think it looks like a cool design, so I'm into it. As for the camera protection, we have a standard camera cutout region, which will help prevent the lenses of the camera from touching any flat surface that the phone might be dropped onto. This is important because just like the front side of the phone, you don't want those lenses to come into contact with anything hard, like a concrete floor or a tile floor. So this is a pretty standard protection feature. I also thought it was pretty interesting that on this case, instead of a small kickstand, which is what you normally get on a lot of other cases, the entire backside of the case is actually a kickstand. This whole piece flips out or swings out, and you have this panel that the Fold 6 can rest on. You can either watch videos or you can make a video call, so that's pretty handy. Even though the case backing piece does double as a kickstand, we're actually still getting MagSafe accessory compatibility here, which is awesome. The magnet wasn't too strong, but I was able to shake the phone inside of the case with my Anker magnetic ring, so that's a test that I like that it passed. I think that the Tongate Mech case provides an overall solid amount of protection here for the Samsung Fold 6. And I think pricing wise, it's coming in as a pretty competitive option in the market. And this case is coming with a belt clip. The phone will basically just snap into it. I think this is definitely going to last at least the length of the time that you keep the phone and the case. It's a nice value add in my opinion. I would definitely recommend the Mech case if you need the protection factor, you'll like the features that it's offering, and if you're just looking for an overall good value case. I'll have links to the Mech case and the Fold 6 in the description below, so definitely head down there and check it out. If you got any value out of this video, I would definitely appreciate it if you tap the thumbs up button. That lets YouTube know to share this video with other Samsung Z Fold 6 owners when they're researching case options. Lastly, if you're into smartphone and mobile tech stuff like this, get subscribed to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. Until next time, stay charged up. Taking a look at the I-Blason Armorbox in metallic blue for the Samsung Z Fold 6. Thanks to I-Blason for sending this one over for review. The Armorbox is a solid, protective type of case for the Z Fold 6. We have a relatively sturdy main glass screen protector here on the outside. This is basically a tempered glass screen panel with a decent thickness, so I think it's going to hold up pretty well over time against the normal stuff that would probably come into contact with your phone. Keys, other stuff in your wallet, and wherever you set your phone down at night. As always, whenever I talk about screen protectors, it's important to remember that you should always increase the fingerprint sensitivity to the maximum setting in order to maintain the best unlock accuracy. In terms of the rigidity of this front frame, there's not too much flex here, so I like that. It snaps right into place, and it seems like it's a pretty snug fit, so I don't think when you drop your phone that this panel is going to go flying off the phone. As for a little bit of added screen protection, there are raised bezels on the front frame. They're basically built into this. What that means is basically when you drop your phone on a flat surface, for example, phone screen, the actual glass of the phone, is not going to end up impacting the ground. It looks like the bezels extend about 2 millimeters past the screen here. So basically that means when you drop your phone on your kitchen floor, or like I did the other day on the hard cold concrete in my basement, this should keep the phone protected. As for the backside of this case, we have a very strong rear case panel. In my testing, there was very little flex, and I like that the corners were reinforced as well. Another thing to point out that while this is a large phone and a large case, I do like that on the sides of this case there are grippy sections. That'll definitely help increase dry and wet grip on the phone. The backside of this case is a bit smooth, a little bit different than some of the other cases that I've looked at. We do have a larger kickstand built into this case, which is nice for watching videos and if you do video conferencing. As you can see, this case does have support for externally storing your S Pen, which is nice. You can basically leave it in this middle section and then grab it quickly when you need it. This section also acts as a very strong barrier for protecting the Z Fold 6's hinge, which is kind of a nice double feature there. It looks like the case is also providing a pretty decent amount of protection for the cameras. You can see that they're recessed a bit there, a couple of millimeters at least, and the cutout region is smaller on the Z Fold 6 than it is on the S24 Ultra, for example. This will actually end up decreasing the chances that the camera lenses will make contact with anything when you drop your phone, which is good. I would say just from handling this case for a little while, it seems like it's providing some solid protection for your Z Fold 6. Definitely a little bit on the rigid side, but I don't dislike that. It definitely feels like it's bolstered well. I would definitely also add that I really like the way it feels. While it is a little bit smooth on the backside, I do think the case is constructed pretty solidly. So I would say, if you're looking for a protection forward type of case, the Armorbox case from I-Blason definitely seems like it would be a solid choice. I'm curious to know what protection factors matter most to you when you're looking for a case for a phone like the Z Fold 6. Let me know in the comments section below. If this one was helpful, definitely drop a like on the video, and then if you're interested in smartphone and mobile tech, I would say get subscribed to the channel. Oh, and ring that bell for video notifications every time I upload a video. Until next time, stay charged up. Taking a look at the Poetic Spartan case in gunmetal gray for the Samsung Z Fold 6. Thanks to Poetic for sending this case over for the video review. Spartan cases from Poetic are known for being very solid and very protective cases. The version that they produced for the Z Fold 6 is no exception. There are two main pieces to the Poetic Spartan case. We have the front frame, which includes a built-in screen protector, and the main rear case body. The screen protector has a decent thickness. It looks like it's going to hold up well over time for the typical stuff that will come into contact with your phone screen. As always with all screen protectors, I always recommend making sure that you increase the fingerprint sensitivity to the maximum for the best unlock accuracy. In terms of enhanced protection here, the front frame is creating a decent sized bezel for the screen. That's actually crucial to protecting the glass on your phone. For example, if you drop your phone on your kitchen floor or on the concrete in your basement, you don't want the glass taking the brunt of that impact. You want the bezel or the case frame to take that impact and absorb that and redistribute it. The front frame assembly basically snaps right onto place on the front side of the phone. Installation was very easy. In general, for the Poetic cases, keep an eye out for those little blue tabs. They actually have some adhesive underneath to help keep the case secure on the phone. As for the backside of this case, we have a very strong rear case body panel, and in my testing, there was very little flex. I also like that the corners are reinforced on each piece. We have a good bit of extra TPU material to help absorb corner drops. In terms of the sides of the case, I like that the TPU material does have these grippy sections on it. That's definitely going to help a lot with dry and wet grip from my past experiences. I also like that the Spartan cases on the backside have this surface that's broken up with little bits of texture here and there, kind of around the perimeter. That definitely helps with fingertip grip, and you'll have a better hold on your phone. This case also features a good-sized kickstand. It's built in, it's pretty strong. I like it for watching videos or making video calls. I actually use the kickstand sometimes just to get a better grip on the phone. It's a neat feature. This case also has external support for storing the S Pen on the outside of the case in this holder along the side. The S Pen outer bay is basically built into the hinge that slides and protects the hinge of the Z Fold 6. As you can see by looking at it, this section is super strong and it provides a very good barrier for protecting the Z Fold 6's hinge. I also like the camera protection on this case. We're looking at about 2 to 3 millimeters worth of depth in terms of a bezel or the amount that the camera lenses are recessed within the case. And when you couple that with the smaller camera cutout region on the Z Fold 6, that'll definitely help keep those camera lenses safe. I would say from handling this case for a little bit now, it seems like it should provide some pretty solid protection for your Z Fold 6 phone. The Spartan cases are always on the overbuilt side for maximum protection of your phone. So if that's the primary feature that you're looking for, I would say this case is probably going to fit that bill well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this case for your Samsung Z Fold 6. If you found this video helpful, drop a like on the video. That'll let YouTube know to share this with other people who are researching cases for their Z Fold 6 phone. If you're into smartphones and mobile tech, get subscribed to the channel and ring that bell for video notifications. Until next time, stay charged up. We're taking a look at a beefy case from a company called Berfy case for the Samsung Galaxy Fold 6. Thanks to Berfy for sponsoring this video and for sending the case over for us to take a look at. The Berfy brand is a little bit newer to me, but when I was checking this case out, it definitely seemed like it would be a substantial case, and it supports MagSafe accessories, which is a super nice plus in my opinion, on top of the backing being transparent. The case consists of two elements, the main screen cover and the main rear case body. The front frame that has the screen protector installed seems relatively strong. The installation was quite easy in terms of the front side, but make sure to use the preparation materials that Berfy includes. I used each of the cleaning materials to clean off the front screen just to ensure that I had a very good installation, and it looks great when it's all done. Physically installing that front frame was relatively easy, just line it up and essentially click it in place. One thing to note though, as you saw, definitely make sure that you remove the adhesive protection for that inner seam. This part is going to help ensure that that front frame stays connected to your Fold 6, even when it goes tumbling out of your hands. In examining this front frame, I really like that it not only has a decently thick screen protector built into it, but the case is actually forming a good sized bezel on the front side of the phone. There's about a 1 to maybe 2 millimeter worth height difference here in terms of the screen protector to the top edge of that bezel for the case. That is some solid protection for the screen side of the phone, and it's going to help in most drop scenarios. In looking at the back side of the case, we have a beefy main rear case body as well. Right off the bat, I can pretty much say that I like that the case is transparent, it's got support for MagSafe accessories, and there's a bit of a bezel for camera protection. The backing material is decently strong, which is good. The magnet strength was about average in terms of case testing. I think it should be plenty for magnetic rings and desk mounts though. The cameras have about a millimeter worth of clearance in terms of flat surface drop scenarios, which in my experience is plenty for camera and camera lens protection. The installation of the main rear case body was also relatively easy. Essentially, you just need to line up the case and snap it into place on the phone. The fitment in terms of the model Fold 6 that I have here is quite good. The front and the rear snapped right into place, and they pretty decently held on. It does not feel like these are going to come off if the phone went tumbling, for example. As for the hinge protection, it's also decently large. Inside of this hinge, we do have space to hold a standard sized S Pen if you happen to use one of these with your Fold 6. The model that I'm working with today is the black version, but you can pick this case up in a dark blue, gold, and gray color as well. I would say that overall, this is a well-designed and very protective type of case for your Galaxy 6 smartphone. I think this case is definitely going to hold up well over time in terms of all the standard abuse that comes with a Galaxy Fold smartphone. I also like the inclusion of a MagSafe magnet and that standard size S Pen holder. This is an especially good deal if you wanted all of that stuff and that transparent backing so you can still see your factory color. So if you add up all of those features and nice to haves, this case might be an ideal choice for you. I'll have some links in the description below to the case and some accessories, so if you're interested in checking that out, head down there for more. If you like this video, I would appreciate it if you could drop a like on the video. And that tells YouTube to share this with more Galaxy Fold 6 owners who are researching cases. If you're into smartphone and mobile tech stuff, get subscribed to this channel and then ring that bell for notifications. Until next time, stay charged up. Thank you for watching throughout the video and supporting this channel. I'll have affiliate links to every case and some accessories in the description below, so if you want to pick one of these up, definitely go down there and check them out. It really helps the channel. And to wrap up, do all the normal YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe. Until next time, stay charged up.